So, this talk is kind of an advanced talk. So, I'm really glad that all of you are advanced students. No, you are. You've all been meditating a long time and quite seriously, and I hope you can receive what I have to share with you. So, I want to talk about Shikantaza. That's what we call it in Zen, but it has many names. Shi called it cultivating the empty field, or silent illumination. Other people have called, in Japanese it's called Hensho. So it's a meditation technique and a meditation experience. It's also called turning the light around. It's called taking a step backwards and turning the light around. So I've actually taught this before, so it may be familiar to some of you. But it's so accessible, but it takes effort. It takes effort. But it's where the gold is in terms of meditation. So I usually teach it only on retreats, but it occurred to me that that was not helpful to those of you who, for various reasons, can't do retreats. And I wanted to share it with you. So Shakyamuni Buddha instructions on this were to attentively meditate on the inner stream of the meditating consciousness. So it barely makes sense at one level, right? You have to kind of get it. Attentively meditate on the inner stream of the meditating consciousness. That's turning. So here's more from Shakyamuni Buddha. Continually focus attention on meditation on the uninterrupted mind, the mind that focuses on images. Genshi Sengan, the third ancestor, says to return to the root is to find the meaning, but to pursue appearances is to miss the source. At the moment of turning the light of awareness around, there is going beyond appearance and emptiness. And Eihei Dogen said, you should stop the intellectual activity of pursuing words and learn the stepping back of turning the light around and shining back. Body and mind will naturally drop off and the original face will appear. Think of what doesn't think. How do you think of what doesn't think? Non-thinking. That is the essential art of sitting meditation. So, for a long time, that instruction did not make any sense to me at all. Really, it was not crystal clear. And so I know most of you have read Dogen on this, what is it, Fugen Zazen Kai? Fugen Zazen? Zenji.
Fugen Zazen.
Yeah, Fugen Zazenji. Tara Brach, in her book, Taking Refuge, has a really good chapter on this, called The Backward Step. And she talks about Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche giving a class where he took a big white sheet of paper and drew a V on it. And he says, what is that? And people in the class said, bird. And he waited a moment and he said, no, it's the sky with the bird flying through it. So that's a wonderful metaphor, really a wonderful metaphor for the mind and its thoughts. The point is that we're always focused on the small thing. We focus on the thought, we focus on the image, we focus on the smell or the taste or the body sensation. We miss the background, we miss the environment, we miss seeing the mind itself. And that is really the point of meditation, is seeing the mind itself. So when you first begin to look at the mind itself, you begin to notice, I used to think of it as a body of water, and I would notice whether it was turbulent or calm, whether there were kind of lapping waves. And I got kind of a sense of what that was. It was more often waves or tumult than calm, but sometimes in a sesshin I would find that it was actually quite calm. But I didn't really connect seeing that mind itself, that state that it was in, with this instruction. I actually didn't understand this until I became a teacher and started teaching it. And one of the things that really helped was Dan Siegel's awareness wheel of awareness. So I'm going to do that again to help you find that spot yourselves. So Tara Brach goes on to talk about her study, her Dzogchen study. She's done a lot of different kinds of Buddhist study and practice. And her Dzogchen teacher taught her to let go of the narrow focus and expand her awareness to the wider environment of the mind. And then she recollects the work of Les Femi, who is down at Princeton, and Alan introduced me to him. And he writes, and this is really important for anybody that suffers from depression or anxiety, that learning to access this ocean within us, this dharmic ocean, is really the cure for anxiety and depression. When we have access to this big mind, our anxiety fades, our depression fades. And all the dark thoughts, they still come and go, but we don't attach to them in the same way. Because our focus of attention, where we live, is in that wider, broader, connecting mind. It's really important for our daily life. So we all struggle with daily life. And our struggles are minimized. Life is so much easier when you live from that place. She says, narrowly focused attention affects our entire body-mind. Whenever we fixate on making plans or our next meal, on judgments, on a looming deadline, our narrowed focus, this is from Femi, our narrowed focus produces faster beta waves in the brain. Our muscles tense, and the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, are released. So earlier today when I suggested that you relax your body and minds, I don't know if you noticed this, but you can relax your mind and hold that relaxed state for some period of time, maybe a second, maybe a minute. And then you start thinking again. And as soon as you begin to think, your mind tenses up. You know, I can actually feel it in my face. You know, it's like, I may not be wrinkling my eyebrows, but it's like a sense of that tension that comes when you wrinkle your face a little bit. When you remember to relax it again, thoughts go away, the mind relaxes. It's a different physical sensation. Same thing with the body. When we think, our body gets tense. Shoulders, neck, arms, stomach. When we remember to relax it, there's a different quality of our being in place. In contrast, she says, and this is from Femi's studies, he's a researcher. He's done all this research on the brain and brainwaves. In contrast, open focused attention rests the brain with a sustained pause from processing information, from memories, plans, thoughts about self. Brain waves slow down into synchronous alpha waves. Our muscles relax, stress hormone levels are lowered, blood flow is redistributed, no longer in fight or flight reactivity. Our body and mind become wakeful, sensitive, open, and at ease. So I really want you to look at this afternoon when you're sitting. Pay attention to relaxed mind versus thinking mind. If you remember the sutra, the grass hut, this is really what that sutra is about also. It talks about relaxed mind and the spaciousness of it. That's what the grass hut, the essence of the grass hut sutra is about. I was trying to think if we could squeeze it in today to actually chant it, but I'm not sure we'll have time. So I want to actually lead you through the wheel of awareness, because this is the best way that I know to introduce this quality of non-thinking mind. There's two states of it, in my experience. One is the one that comes from this wheel of awareness activity, which is, it's very instructional, but it takes concentration. And so your mind is not relaxed. You're really focused on turning your awareness towards your awareness. And the other, which comes from sitting a week-long sesshin, which is completely relaxed and spacious and open, and it's qualitatively different. But I don't know how to get there in one day. I can't get there in one day myself. I have to do the focused one, the concentrated technique first. So I'll talk a little more about it, but this is an abbreviated version of Dan Siegel. You know who Dan Siegel is? Yeah, so he's a psychologist, brilliant psychologist, done so much in research and mindfulness and the benefits of mindfulness. I admire him greatly. So let's start this. So just get yourself back into meditation. And now with your eyes open or your eyes closed, doesn't really matter. Bring your attention to this middle of our circle. And now bring your attention, take it to the back of the room, whatever direction you're facing. And now bring it back to the center of our circle. Notice how you manage and control your attention. Now bring your attention to your breath in your body. You may notice it in your abdomen or in your chest, or you may notice the air flowing in and out of your nostrils. You can put your hand on your abdomen and feel it going out and in with the breath if you like. Just let your awareness ride the wave of the breath. So the mind is like an ocean. Where deep in the ocean, it's calm. And no matter what is happening at the surface, in the deep, it's always calm. There may be storms on the surface, but deep down, it remains calm. Focusing on your breath is like resting in the deep and looking up and observing this beam of light and seeing that the surface is in turmoil. Let yourself focus on the breath. When a thought or feeling or memory distracts you from the breath, let it go and return your focus to your breath. That's our basic meditation technique. So Dan Siegel has introduced another metaphor of the mind, which is the wheel of awareness. So in your mind, visualize a wheel which has a hub and an outer rim. And there are spokes connecting the wheel to the rim. In this metaphor, the surface of the ocean is like the rim of the wheel. Those are the things that we are aware of. And our awareness stems from the hub. Each spoke represents a connection between the hub and the things that we can be aware of. So the spokes are our power of perception. So first, imagine the spoke that connects our awareness to sight, to visual things. Imagine yourself going from the hub out to something that's in your visual line of sight. Now imagine your hub sending out a spoke to your sense of hearing. And let your hub hear the sounds that are within your awareness. Now turn your hub to the sense of sensation, touch, and imagine the hub sending a spoke out, not too far because it can't go beyond your skin, your sense of sensation, and notice what sensations you're aware of. Notice what you feel right now. And now move a spoke from your hub of attention to your sense of smell. See what smells you can notice. And now move your awareness to your sense of taste. See what tastes remain in your mouth, if any. Now take a deeper breath and return to the hub. Begin interior inspection. Start by directing your awareness to sensing the bones in your face. And now move your attention to the bones of your torso. And now move your awareness to the bones and muscles in your arms. And now move your attention to the bones and muscles in your legs. And now bring your awareness to the lower part of your torso, your hips, genitals, any sensations in your intestines, bladder. And now move your attention upward to the inner experience of your lungs as they rise and fall with each breath. And now let your attention come to the inside of your throat. And now bring your awareness to your heart center. Invite any feelings you feel around your heart center to come into your awareness. Now bring your awareness to whatever is happening in your mental arena, your inner life, memory, thought, image, feelings. Notice how you're feeling about this exercise. Open your awareness to whatever mental activity arises. Now, from the hub of your mind, see if you can notice the way by which mental activities arise in your awareness, stay present, and then fall away. Do they arise suddenly and fall away gradually? Do they slip up from behind and slip back when you turn your attention back to your awareness? Do they arise gradually and leave suddenly? How are you responding to my voice? Notice if it's annoying, distracting, interesting. Do your thoughts seem rushed or flowing? Is there an interval between one thought and the next? Now, take another deep breath, feeling it in your body. And turn your awareness toward your awareness itself. And stay with that as long as you can. And when it slips away, come back to bringing your awareness to the source of your awareness. Notice if your mind is turbulent or quiet. Notice when a thought arises. Notice any gaps between thoughts. So now come back to your breath. Allow your mind to slip away from a hub of attention. And just open your eyes.